Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jasson. Thank you for joining us on a somewhat overcast and maybe a little rainy day here in Lancaster, but considering what time of the year it is, that's probably not too bad. So thank you for joining us. We are in the lobby downtown at Fairfield Federal. We thank them for allowing us to come in and kind of take our little corner room here and do our show today. Start out with a young man that we haven't had on for a while. It's always a pleasure to have on Corey Schoonover. Corey, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Most of you know him. He's not here in a city council role today.
No.
He's here in his real job way. He's executive director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society. I go by there probably several times a week, and over the years, I'm just amazed at how the improvement in that place has looked and the things you've added there, and I don't know how it's been, maybe a decade from then till now. It's unrecognizable.
Yeah, that's a good word. Everything is always changing. If construction's not going on, it's like, what's Corey doing, right? So yeah, it's a big thing.
And I'm a dog person, but anybody that is a pet person just appreciates what you do for the animals and for I'm always somebody that says go in. That's where you need to get your dogs from is from the shelters. You need to get them there, not from the puppy mills or the other places. But I'm always promoting that. I'm always glad to see where somebody says, "Oh, I just got a dog from the shelter," and then I'm always so happy to hear that. I'm sure that's music to your ears too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned everything's it's been growing, and that's really it's all about community support. So. You're noticing what's going on and a lot of other people, and it's like how do we help continue that, whether it's recommending people come to see us or hey, how can we get involved? So as a nonprofit, we grow as the community support grows, and it's been doing really well.
And again, one of the things certainly recognizable, I'm sure there's many things we'll talk about. One of the things that's really recognizable is your little park right there that you've opened up. It's all fenced in. It's a great area. Has that turned out to be just the right thing to do?
Yeah, the dog park we opened 2013, I think. So
wow.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Dog parks are one of those things that changes as the years go on. And what I mean by that is when we built it, there weren't other dog parks in town. The dog park thing was really popular, or started becoming popular. So now you see like the city built a dog park down in Miller Park. Most of the apartment complexes have added little dog parks. So although ours is still used, not as much as it used to be. So we have like that front section you see at that big wall. Right, in the fence. Yep, small dog park and then large dog park. You're going to actually see some changes there this year. We're going to shift everything to the middle because we're actually getting ready to put in an additional building on that front part, and additional parking, because if you have driven by, you see the parking lot is usually a disaster. There needs to be a parking attendant most days over there.
Valet service?
Absolutely.
That'd be very nice. I'd give you something to do.
Good donation. So I've directed traffic. I'm not a fan. Like it's
been there, done that.
People have a hard time parking, and I say that with all the love in the world. When it's busy, it's a hard place
Maybe you
to
could
park.
change it like you do down on Broad Street where they back in. Maybe that would.
No,
you don't think that's the answer?
No, there's some. I understand the frustration with the back-end parking. I don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
But I can see where people don't want to do it because some people have a hard time pulling in forward. So I'm like I said, with all the love, but there's been a need for that additional space, and we've been getting creative with figuring out how to do that.
I guess that's a byproduct of getting busier and perhaps being more successful at what you do. What used to be plenty of parking now for the past few years has increasingly grown.
Yes.
We need more.
Yes. And to it's different, and to think, hey, how do we find more space to be able to help more animals? But now it's how do we find more space to park more cars is an interesting thing that I never really thought of 10 years ago.
Sure.
Right?
Won't never be a problem.
No, we'll be good.
So now you're talking about shrinking or moving around the dog park a little
Yeah.
bit. You're going to do an addition or an additional building there.
Yep.
What will that be for?
So it's going to be a little less public use. It won't be like open all the time. So we need storage space, number one. Number two, there's a 2-phase plan here. So this building, I call it parking level 2, and then the storage, to where once a month we have the Rascal units, a big mobile unit, come from Dublin to do spay and neuters for the general public, right? So we're going to move that process up to that new building. We're actually getting ready to bring back grooming as well, so you'll see grooming up there eventually. And then what that does is opens up the side of our building. So when you're looking at the front of the Humane Society, on the left there's a driveway. It just goes back. We park our humane officer vehicles back there. Well, once this building's done up top, then we're going to build a cat wing down the side. And when I say cat wing, it's specifically for the kitty cats. Imagine a wall of adoptable cats and a wall of windows like we have here at the bank, to where the cats get a look outside and actually have a view, which they don't have right now. So that's the big overall plan that you're going to see happening this year.
And one of the things you and I were just talking before we started here, and I didn't realize you have this mobile unit now.
Yes.
Is that just come about in 23?
Yes. So that's been, I think that's been a piece to add to our overall offerings, that it took a lot of effort. It's a custom built 26-foot. Think your C-class RV, right? When you go on vacation, or we'd all love to go on vacation in an RV, but we had it delivered. It took 14 months to build. They built it from scratch. So we had it delivered in September. And we're going to use that as our community engagement vehicle. So events. So when we have people want to come, like the first one we did when we kind of unveiled it was downtown at Fall Fest.
It's perfect for that.
So we can bring animals for adoption. It is set up with a full surgery suite. So we have a trap, neuter, return program for stray and feral cats, right? So we have some folks around the county that feed a lot of cats, and then trying to trap them, transport 20, 30, 40 cats to our place to get them fixed. Well, now with the mobile unit, we have the opportunity. We can set up that trapping period, and then we can just go there, take care of it. It makes things a lot more efficient, and in this day and age, especially with spay and neuter and vet clinic and vet services, it needs to be more efficient. And that's what that is going to bring for us.
Sounds like a lot of thought went into what services, if we get this vehicle, what services are most important to have available there.
Absolutely. Any investment that we make that's important. That was a big investment, but I think as we've added and grown over the years, it's really been, what does the community need? So we see, even we have an on-site vet clinic where we started with, hey, let's do vaccines and things like that. But over 3 years, it's grown based on, hey, what are we hearing from the community? What's the need? So now it's blood work and dentals and
I mean, I don't know how often you bring a dog in. I don't have a dog anymore, but once or twice a year, is that appropriate to do that?
Yeah, at least once a year, so you get your yearly exam, just like when we go to the doctor. But then we can take care of basic sick. So if they have an ear infection or a skin infection, something like that, bad tooth. So I think, and that's always the message to folks. We want people to adopt a dog or a cat, but they do cost money, right? They're just like kids. You gotta be able to take care of them, and we want to offer those services. We want to make pet ownership affordable. So vet clinic services, boarding services, so you go on vacation, our grooming services that we have had for years and lost and now are coming back, our spay and neuter services. Those things we do that to make sure that you can afford to keep your pet, or you can afford to go get a pet and be able to make that 15-year commitment.
It's certainly not inexpensive. I think when people little Johnny wants a dog, well, we'll go get a dog. Well, maybe we didn't think down the road here where
right.
all of us are got to be committed to having this pet.
Right, and I think that's we don't want to scare people away from it. And I think some of this conversation you can lean either way, but when you really look at there's a lot of thought that needs to go into it. It's not one of those
emotional hot button.
Yeah, and we need to get people into that mindset. It's not something that you can buy and you're like, oh, you know what? I can't afford it, or I want to get rid of it, or I'll go get something new. Like
a treadmill, just set it and make a coat rack out of it.
We have that. So we do a lot of, we handle all the cruelty and neglect cases in Fairfield County, so we deal with the court a lot, and trying to get them to understand, and I say them as in the court, that process, like, hey, we need to speed this up. This isn't a piece of evidence that you put in a box and sit on the shelf. This is a living thing. And I think same thing with animals at home. That's a living being that has feelings, and we want to make sure that you're in the right mindset for that.
Got Corey Schoonover. Corey is the executive director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society. And if we just for a moment, we have a couple minutes left. You look back at 2023, good year for your office.
Yeah.
A lot of growth.
It's a relative term.
Okay.
I would say growth in our services and our offerings, absolutely. People using them, yes. Adoptions were down a little bit.
Really?
But COVID kind of really rocked everybody, and it did us well. Now, I'm not saying we still did over 1,100 adoptions.
Wow.
So 14 years ago when I started, it was like, how do we do 30 adoptions a month? Now it's like, why aren't we doing 100, right? So it's all relative in that, but we have 25 employees, and as a private nonprofit, depending on donations and the revenue we bring in from those services, that's a big deal. We went from 5 to 25, from 1,200 square feet to 10,000 square feet, from 300 adoptions to 1,100 adoptions. So growth is great. Growth's important. Controlled growth is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And the community realizes that, appreciates it, and that's why we can continue to do it. And I'm grateful to be able to have that support, be able to continue growing how we need to grow.
Well, always great to get an update from the Humane Society, a big proponent of that. You and your staff do a great job up there. Thanks for everything you do, and we'll look for the coming soon signs going up there, the under construction signs.
So it's going to be there.
People have more parking. Everything will just be so great up there. We're looking forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Corey Schoonover with us from the Fairfield Area Humane Society. We'll be back in just a moment.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
I moved here after a decade in New York City, just craving nature, the outdoors, my Midwestern, childhood, everything about this place, and I was so happy to find how this county has grown and expanded, and they're being addressed. There's so many agencies, they work so well together, and it's just amazing.
All of the different companies and nonprofit organizations seem to be in tune with each other, whereas in other counties I know it's a lot of the businesses are just one-on-one, but in Fairfield County I feel like all of them kind of piggyback off of each other, and they really help each other out to get everyone the most help that they need.
You can really make an impact in the community and notice it, and especially in Fairfield County there's a lot of really exciting things happening. So a lot of forward-thinking, innovative ideas and programs is a big bonus to working in Fairfield County.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
We here at Fairfield DD wish you a happy new year. March is right around the corner, and with it comes Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. This year, Fairfield DD is excited to share that we will have a variety of events to mark this important month. Our 14th annual Celebration of Possibilities will be held on Wednesday, March 20th at 6 p.m. at the Wigwam Event Center in Pickerington. So save the date. Join our mailing list or follow our social media so you can stay up to date on all the happenings.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Sir, I want to thank Corey Schoonover for coming in talking about all the puppies and kitties that they deal with up there in the area Humane Society. They do a great job up there on 37th. You know where that is, up on the little hill right there where the dog park is and everything right there. It's just a great organization. And speaking of great organizations, nice transition here to Meals on Wheels. Anna Tobin, the Executive Director. Welcome back.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
That's right. It's been a while. I think last time we were here, we were talking 50th anniversary.
Yeah, we were still 49 the last time I was here.
Is that right? You don't look a day older. You look wonderful. And
we had a birthday in November.
We actually got a little display out here that we put out there that you were nice enough to bring us. And that has some 50 years on it, what the nice glasses say, but that has a lot of local flavor in that.
It sure does. You know, we worked with Gay Fad Studio. David did our logo. He prepared our logo for us for our 50th celebration, and they put these tumblers together as a commemorative gift for our open house that we had back in November on our birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can't believe 50 years of service, you know, and you look at where we've come from. You know, when Sister Lucille started the organization back in 1973, they were doing, I think the first route was 18 meals, and the meals were prepared through Roots Restaurant, which, you know, that was an iconic place, and they just had volunteers deliver. And so look where we are now. We've got 21 routes. We've had a record year this year in the number of services. Over 300,000 meals went out the door this year, which is phenomenal. A record number of seniors served, close to 2,800 this year. So it just keeps growing and growing as our boomers come on and are needing those services.
I would say it's probably not going to die down anytime soon as long as people my age are coming online.
No, I don't think the boomers flatten out until about 2040. And then we're going to have a little reprieve.
I hope we got a ways to go.
And
again, we've talked before about, of course, in your name tells us what you do, but it should be Meals on Wheels and more, because it's amazing the things that your office does. related to seniors, but certainly not Meals on Wheels. You folks do so many more things. I'm not sure everyone knows that.
Well, you're so right, for one, and that's been our biggest challenge. We are the Office on Aging for Fairfield County, which means we get a lot of state and federal and local funds to run programming, and that programming is more than those meals. And in fact, we spent the last year was a busy year for us. We worked with Crowd Communications, and we're developing a co-brand for the organization, so we can explain.
They're so great at that.
Yeah, they are, and that we're so much more than those meals. So we're going to be rolling that out later this year. I don't really want to put too much out there yet until we get all our T's crossed and I's
We'll get
dotted.
you back and talk about it.
Yeah, so it's exciting to know that we're going to have, at least some marketing identification that people, when they see the name, will know that we're so much more than those meals, and we're the place to call if you need any kind of senior services.
Well, and again, when I learned some of the things that you do other than Meals on Wheels, just in our talking here, over the years, you're exponentially, you just kind of grow and grow, and it's not like Meals on Wheels. Well, we don't do that anymore. No, it's bigger than ever. Plus all the things you do.
Exactly, and Paul, we come to these conclusions of what's needed by surveying our seniors.
Sure.
And so we're looking at what are the needs, and they change over time. And one of the biggest changes that we're seeing is our seniors are wanting some computer classes. They want to know how to get on online portals because banking's gone to online. Your health care. You've noticed when you're trying to schedule an appointment, you have to go onto your health care portal and get your test results and make your appointments, pay your bills. And so we want to open it up, and we've received some funding coming in this year to help support a literacy program for our seniors so that they can learn to use their cell phones, tablets, computers, so that they can access these online systems. When you think about it, even going to Kroger's or going to Meijer, the coupons, they're all on your cell phone anymore.
I've heard a lot of complaints from people my age, senior citizens, who perhaps don't do some of those computer things, like they're being picked on.
Yeah,
because if you don't do a computer, how do you use the coupons?
Yeah, there's definitely a barrier there, for sure.
Sure.
And so, we want to work on that as
good
well.
for you.
So there's all kinds of ways that we're going to continue to grow our transportation program. We know that's a big need for seniors. We hear it constantly, trying to get to doctor's appointments and other, important appointments and that kind of thing. So we'll be working on beefing up our transportation this year. We've done a lot around housing and housing stability with helping pay rent and utility bills and that kind of thing, because in this inflationary time, those Social Security checks aren't keeping up and keeping pace with how quickly costs are rising. So we're plugging in where we can and making a difference where we can. We're trying to draw down state funds to help us do that. They're still giving out ARPA funds and that kind of thing. So we're just looking how we can best support the seniors with what resources are out there to assist.
Anna Tobin is with us. Anna, the Executive Director on Meals and Wheels and More, and I think we'll be hearing some changes coming this year about that. We're excited about that. That will be fun to hear how things change, because, again, working with good people like GayPad Studios and Crowd Communications, these are local businesses that have just done great things in the community, and certainly Crowd Communications, you couldn't have a better business partner than them. They know what's going on.
They do. They have their pulse on the community. They understand, the needs here locally and that kind of thing. So it's been a real pleasure to work with them over the past year and come up with a great concept.
And as we talk about growth, and you're doing more with Meals on Wheels, and you're doing all these other things, and we just really not even hit on all of them. You've just touched a few of them. I would say volunteerism would be a hot button word for you.
It is always a hot button word for us. So, of course, the meal deliveries. I wrote down a couple of numbers here. We had 173 volunteers last year, giving us 7,080 hours. But they delivered 25% of our home delivered meals. Our volunteers delivered over 66,000 meals for us. That's huge. If we didn't have those volunteers, we'd be paying staff to do that.
Sure.
So you can see how important it is to engage volunteers, not only with the meal delivery, but these other services that we have available. And I'm so glad we're going to be able to talk about it, because we did receive some funding to start a friendly visitor program where we're having volunteers go and visit with the homebound seniors. Again,
I'm sure that's something you found that really you could find it out through Meals on Wheels, but surveys, but that contact.
Oh yeah, it's so important, and that was huge in our surveying. Seniors are saying, I'd just like somebody to stop by and see me every now and then. It's really important to be identified, as being there, being a part of our world, and just having somebody knock on that door. That's the special part about our program. When the drivers knock on the door, our seniors are recognized for the day. They know somebody's got their eyes on them. If they have a problem or an issue, they know somebody will be there to talk to them and get them the help they need. But the Friendly Visitor Program is something that a volunteer can sign up for. They can do it on their own hours and on their own time, which makes it fabulous. So a lot of people work and they can't get out during the day to deliver those meals with us. But becoming a friendly visitor, you can do it on the nights and weekends, and you're scheduling that time with the person that we're matching you with.
You have a lot of
and you
people
know I was
that
with
need
Big
that.
Brothers and Big Sisters for a long time.
Funny
so
how
this
that
is
works
kind
out.
of like a
funny how
fast
this works
forward,
out.
you know.
You have a lot of need for that. You're seeing a need.
We do have
increasing?
a need for that, yes. And I think it's always been there. We just didn't have the program in
Sure.
place. And
Interesting.
so now that we have the program in place, just give us a call, 740-681-5050, or visit us online at mealsonwheelsfairfieldcounty.org, and you can sign up. And our volunteer coordinator will get with you, bring you into the program, explain, the parameters of the program, and get you matched up with someone that you can visit.
You're almost like the Parks Department, because the Parks Department does so many things other than the parks. They're involved in everything in the community, and that's what I see with you folks. I was reading about a digital literacy, and maybe you were talking about on that computer program.
Yeah.
That's really going to take off, I bet.
Yeah, it's going to take off, and I think it's going to be well supported. We do have a grant to support that program. And when we moved into our new location back in 2019, we had a computer lab established. We had it all wired, and then that old ugly COVID hit, and we abandoned the project for a while until we got back up and running again, because everybody was staying home and no one was allowed out. So now the time has come, and we've got more grant funding to buy the computers and the tablets and help provide internet access. Some of our seniors don't have the funds to provide internet access for themselves. So we'll have that all together. Seniors can come on to Meals on Wheels and come to the classes, learn how to access, again, the healthcare portals, banking. We'll have, we'll have a banker come in and show us how to use their online banking systems and make those deposits and transfers.
I'm sure, and I guess, I'm certainly no very computer savvy person myself, but I managed to get by. But I'm certain there's a number of people out there where this is just Chinese to them. They have no idea any of this, and this will be such a blessing to them.
Oh, absolutely. And just think about Skyping and FaceTiming and being able to connect with your family that live across the country or in another city or
How great
across
would
town.
that be?
But being able to see each other. And I think that's what's really important with this whole social side of this project, is being able to see people and have people see you. I think really.
Probably one of the worst things would be just kind of feeling like you're forgotten out there. That has to be pretty rough.
They talk about social isolation, the devastation to a person, the depression, the anxiety.
Especially
that comes
COVID
on.
probably made us realize that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And so anytime we can involve people and keep them connected to others, we're going to improve their health outcomes as well and make them feel better. So again, the Friendly Visitor is a great way to do that. And any kind of volunteering with Meals on Wheels, our clients, they just come to really love and respect their delivery people. So whether you're delivering the meals, delivering commodity boxes, that's a once a month way to volunteer with us, or becoming a friendly visitor. We have tele-friends, so if you're not comfortable going into homes, we have a phone call system that you can call and just chat with an older adult too. So there's lots of ways to get involved, lots of programs and services. So if you're wondering, my loved one needs X, Y, and Z, and you're thinking, I wonder if Meals on Wheels can help, call us, because we probably can. And if we can't, we'll find somebody that can.
If it's senior citizens, somewhere along the line, Meals on Wheels is involved. And I'll give a quick plug. You talk about volunteers. My friend Howard Snyderman is just he loves Meals on Wheels. He is all about that. He does such a great job, and I'm sure you have story after story where some of these people, they probably get way more out of it than what they actually feel they do.
Yeah, we hear that all the time from our volunteers. They say, I'm getting more out of this than the seniors are,
Good for
But
them.
it does make you feel good. Volunteers, a great New Year's resolution. I mean, there's proven studies that tell you, through volunteerism, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have a sense of purpose. And a lot of good health outcomes come out of volunteering. Just that whole feel-good endorphin gets running through your body.
Anna Tobin with Meals on Wheels. Sounds like 2024, things are not going to slow down. If anything, maybe the train is picking up speed a little bit here.
Always picking
Keep
up
it on the
speed.
tracks. I know you will. My money's on you.
Thank you. We do have some new projects for this year too. In order to use more of our building, we have to do a whole sprinkle system throughout the whole building. You know, it's an old retired school building. We're grandfathered in for the amount of square footage that we're currently using. But also, if we use more of the facility, we're going upstairs, so that requires an elevator. So we'll be having a couple big capital
Construction going
projects
on.
again.
Those are not inexpensive.
No, they are not.
So-
Never a dull moment.
Well, again, I guess that's a byproduct of just being successful at what you do, and people realize your services are valued and people want them.
Yeah,
Good.
I agree.
Well, it's a great organization.
Well,
Thanks
thank
to
you.
all your people and volunteers, everybody over there. One of the just great nonprofits in the area.
Absolutely. We are a community-supported organization, and like you said, we couldn't do it without the support of our community.
You do a great job. Thanks for all you and all your folks do over there.
All right,
Thank
I'll
you.
pass it on.
Very good. Meals on Wheels, Anna Tobin, the Executive Director. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.